The Embassy of Palestine, in cooperation with the Sri Lanka Committee for Solidarity with Palestine, commemorated its 77th Nakba Day in Colombo on Thursday, 15th of May 2025. The meeting, held under the patronage of Prime Minister Dr. Haruni Amarasuriya, was hosted by Palestine Ambassador Ibrahim Khalil. The others who addressed the gathering were Deputy Speaker Dr. Rizvi Saleh, Leader of the Opposition Sajid Premadasa, Minister and Chairman of the Sri Lanka Committee for Solidarity with Palestine Bimal Ratnayaka, and Hussain Rashad Janaza Foundation Founder Executive President Hussain Rashad also attended this event.
Prime Minister, right? Sri Lanka.
Ayubowan, Assalamu alaikum. A very good evening, our distinguished chief guests, guests of honor, members of parliament, ambassadors, high commissioners, diplomats, party leaders, distinguished invitees, our Sri Lankan friends of Palestine, and ladies and gentlemen. A warm welcome to all of you to this solemn yet powerful commemoration of Al-Nakba 2025, the Palestinian catastrophe, jointly organized by the Embassy of the State of Palestine in
leaders of the political parties, and Honorable Minister, Chairman of the Sri Lanka Committee for Solidarity with Palestine, the Dean of the Diplomatic Corps,
Palestine Ambassador,
the UN Resident Coordinator, dear colleagues and members of the Diplomatic Corps, distinguished guests. Before beginning my speech, I would like just to convey my heartfelt condolences for the tragic loss of life for the 21 people that were killed in a tragic bus accident a few days ago. Our deep condolences and our prayers go with the family of the revered and wishing the speedy recovery of all.
Now to warmly invite to address you all, our distinguished chief guest this evening, the Prime Minister of the Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka, Honorable Dr. Haruni Amarasuriya.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. His Excellency Mr. Ibrahim Khalil, Ambassador of the State of Palestine to Sri Lanka, Honorable Leader of the Opposition, Honorable Minister Bimal Ratnayaka, Members of Parliament, Excellencies, distinguished guests. I am honored to be here today at this important event organized by the Embassy of the State of Palestine to mark Al-Nakba Day, a day of catastrophe, under the theme International Action Towards Ending the Nakba and Realizing the Inalienable Rights of the Palestinian People. The year 1948 is of profound significance to both Sri Lanka and Palestine. Sri Lanka handed over consignment of Ceylon tea to Palestine as a token of solidarity. Sri Lanka unequivocally condemns terrorism in all its forms and manifestations. We have experienced what terrorism, the misery that terrorism can bring on a population. Our long-standing commitment to Palestine is reflected, however, in our diplomatic history as well. In 1975, Sri Lanka permitted the establishment of a PLO office in Colombo, which was upgraded to a full-fledged embassy on the 6th of February 1989, following the proclamation of the State of Palestine in November 1988. Further strengthening our ties, Sri Lanka opened its representative office in Ramallah in 2007. Sri Lanka is deeply concerned by the ongoing escalation of violence in Gaza. The United Nations has repeatedly sounded the alarm over the deepening humanitarian catastrophe in Gaza. Since the enforcement of the blockade in March 2025, the entry of essential food, water, and medical supplies has been severely restricted, effectively paralyzing humanitarian relief operations. Most shockingly, the UN reports that at least one water supply to Gaza. In this spirit, I wish to end with a few lines by the great Palestinian poet Mahmoud Darwish. I hope I pronounced that correctly. The war will end, the leaders will shake hands, the old woman will keep waiting for her martyred son. That girl will wait for her beloved husband, and those children will wait for their heroic father. I don't know who sold our homeland, but I saw who paid the price. Thank you.
The State of Israel to seize all attempts at aggression targeting the Palestinian people. You have to stop the annihilation of the Palestinian community. Communities have been bombed, societies have been destroyed, social infrastructure, including hospitals, schools, preschools, and all important elements for prosperous society have been decimated.
Honorable Gajendra Nambaram for the sentiments expressed. And now, to speak a few words, we'd like to invite the Member of Parliament representing Sri Lanka Muslim Congress, Honorable Rauf Hakim.
Lanka, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Ministers, Your Excellency the Ambassador of Palestine, as well as other members of the diplomatic corps, dear friends from Parliament, leaders of political parties, ladies and gentlemen. ඒ කියමන අමරිකානුවන් තමන්ගේ ඉතිහාසය පිළිබඳ වීතිකාවක ජීවත් වෙනවා. We have the whole problem is that the modern colonial occupation of Palestine. The settler colonialism, as we call it, is a shame for whole humanity. How do we deal with it? We have to go beyond symbolism and have to confront what is happening on the ground. Our learned Deputy Speaker,
while ensuring the enforcement of relevant UN resolutions. We reaffirm our support for Palestinian people's rights to resist, determine their own destiny, and establish their independent state with Jerusalem as its capital. We extend our gratitude to all nations that have recognized the state of Palestine and call on others to follow suit. We demand full support for the United Nations Relief and Works Agency Palestine Refugees, NURWA, and reject all Israeli attempts to cut its funding or index operations. Sri Lanka has always stood for justice, freedom, and the rights of oppressed peoples. Let us reaffirm our unwavering solidarity.
And we thank you for your continuous support towards the rights of Palestinians, and also we greatly appreciate all the proposals that you made today. And with that, we now want to invite Honorable Dr. Rizvi Sali, the Deputy Speaker of the Parliament of Sri Lanka, to speak a few words.
Your Excellency, the Emperor of Palestine, Sri Lanka, Honorable Imarat Naik, President of Sri Lanka Committee for Solidarity with Palestine, Honorable Leader of the Opposition, distinguished members of Parliament, Your Excellencies, Ambassadors, High Commissioners, ladies and gentlemen. I stand here before you today not just as the Deputy Speaker of the Parliament of Sri Lanka as I was introduced,
including us in Sri Lanka, must use every resource at our disposal, political, diplomatic, legal and moral, to press for the immediate implementation of the United Nations resolution calling for a two-state solution, a sovereign Palestine coexisting peacefully alongside Israel based on the 1967 borders. This is not only a political necessity, it is a moral obligation. The people of Palestine must not be reduced to a permanent refugee population. They deserve statehood, they deserve sovereignty, they deserve a future. I say this as a member of a nation that despite its own struggles and has always stood for peace. Sri Lanka has known the value of reconciliation. We have paid the price of division. And
Dr. Rizvi Sali, for your valuable sentiments and also for your very touching words. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, in order to address you all, we'd like to invite Member of Parliament representing all Ceylon Power Congress, Honorable Gajendra Kumar Punaparam.
Reverend members of the clergy, Honorable Leader of the Opposition, Honorable Leader of the House and Minister Bimal Ratnayaka, Honorable Ministers, Honorable Deputy Speaker,
Rahul Hakim, the leader of Sri Lankan Muslim Congress, and also ladies and and gentlemen, we'd like to acknowledge the presence of the President of Sri Lanka Palestine Friendship Association, Minister of Cultural Affairs, Honorable Dr. Sunil Senevi. And with that, we'd like to invite to address you all the leader of All Synod of Makra Congress, Honorable Vishal Faghudin.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Honorable Vimal Ratnayaka, Minister, Honorable Minister of Religious Affairs, Deputy Honorable reaffirms, Dr. Rizvi, His Excellency Ambassador of Palestine, Honorable Members of Parliament, Excellencies, esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is both an honor and a solemn responsibility.
The Vice President of the Sri Lanka Committee for Solidarity with Palestine and Deputy Editor of the Sunday Times, Mr. Amin Zabin.
Reverend Clergy, Honorable Deputy Speaker, Rizvi Saleh, Party Leaders, Honorable Members of Parliament, the United Nations Resident Coordinator, Ambassador of the Palestine, Your Excellencies from Palestine Friendly Diplomatic Corps, and distinguished guests. Just as the darkest night must yield to the break of dawn,
Which embassy?
I'm not from embassy. I'm just American settled here.
I was in Bikram for 2 years. I was in